Well, hello, everybody. Good evening to you. It is now 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific. Thank you again for joining me on my weekly live. I want to just jump right into it for the sake of time. I'm pretty sure people are tired and about ready to do whatever it is that you want to do. But I thank you for spending a little bit of time with me for today. All right. So, weekly disclaimer, the information I share weekly is general. I make no guarantee that you'll achieve the same outcomes that I did. If you need supports in the areas of special ed services, support services, or PBIS, I'm going to need for you to get with the right folks that can help you get there. hmm Me, I'm the right folks. Absolutely. Get with me. All righty. We're going to move on down the road. All right. My purpose for this live is to let you all in on a little bit more about who I am. For those who don't know, my company, Changing Minds and Hearts, works with families and caregivers who have scholars with special needs. We provide supports for in the home that parents will need to help support their child best. We also provide professional development for new and seasoned educators in the field of special education. We go into the public, private, and charter school settings, and we support your organization. Absolutely. Alrighty then. All right, let's talk about a recap. So, if you were with me last week, I had my special guest, my pastor, my childhood pastor, and my current day pastor, Pastor Darla Edlin, who has authored about four great books. Please check her out on what is that? Amazon. I put a link in that last live of all the great books and gems she has written. All right, but what did she share with us last week about yours truly, your friend Natasha? Because I'm y'all friend. We family. We friends. So she shared that I have this incredible ability to shift the atmosphere in chaotic situations. She also shared with everyone that I have a radiance of positivity that lights up rooms. She's true. Yeah, she's telling the truth about that. So I invite you all to go back and visit some of those previous lives that I've done in the past few weeks. If I'm intriguing to you and you want to know a little bit more about me, go and look at those lives. All right, they're not very long. Just go and take a sneaky peek. And as I say every week, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. We are growing a relationship. That's what we're doing, folks. We're growing a relationship. Before I get into my tonight's guest, I think I'm going to do my call to action earlier instead of later. So, you all, if you're on a desktop, laptop, whatnot, I'm gonna need for you to take your phone out and scan that code. That's you right, no, maybe here, up in the corner, and get your copy of my latest ebook. It's called The SPED Chronicles: Leading Your Special Ed Classroom. So, if you're struggling with certain things that happen in the SPED world, get your hands on that copy, and it's on sale. It is. So you're getting it at a rollback price. Go ahead, get your copy, or share it with an educator that would benefit. All right. Also, go ahead and share this live with someone, anyone. It's free. You can do that for me. We friends. Share it. You never know who it might resonate with. All right, now for tonight's topic. Who is Dr. Natasha Scott? The middle years. Yes, we are still in this area. We are. But I have for us a special guest in the studio. Her name is Gladys McGee. She's my childhood neighbor, but I want to be very clear. She's more than that. We're not blood related, but she is very much my cousin, very much. Our families are still very close today. And I love her as though she we came from the same bloodline. But at the end of the day, she's my family. All right, so I'm gonna bring her on. Hey, family.
Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Get
All
in
right,
here, get in here, get in here.
get in here. Oh my goodness. All right. So I thank you so very much for joining me today. And I'm just going to get into it. And here's my first question. What was I like as a teenager, as a tween coming up? What's your perspective?
I think you were very vibrant. You were very joyful. And when you come into the room, you assess it and then you light it up. Because I'm going to tell you, with your jokes and your just ability to assess a room and to say, "Oh no, I ain't with this," you it's a good thing. But when you find an atmosphere that you can make a difference, you make a difference with either asking questions or telling jokes, but actually speaking your mind. And it's refreshing because a lot of people do not speak their mind. They hold it in and they do whatever they do with it, their information. But Tasha gonna say what she gonna say. And me and my kids look at each other like, Tasha didn't really say that, did she? And my other daughter say, yes, she did. Okay.
Oh my goodness. That is so
But
funny.
it's the truth.
That is so funny that you say that because that's something that's coming up. But I want to be very clear because the perception that I'm bringing in is from people that know me the best. They're closer to me. So, how we have our conversations may not be something that others would understand. But when I say my mind, I say it straight in love. And it may not necessarily be um, covered in sugar, but it's
Absolutely.
not going to be malicious and it's not going to be to tear you down. But wherever I can help support an individual, that is what I do. And I do it through speech. It's one of
Absolutely.
those things where say what you mean and mean what you say. And
Mhm.
people aren't growing if it's all sugar. You're not. You're
Absolutely.
not going to grow.
Absolutely.
You're not
Absolutely.
growing. But I just want to make sure that we're very clear that it's not mean and it's not to tear you down. It is
Oh no,
definitely
no.
to help you grow.
Yeah,
All
yeah. But you do it in such a way that it is received um it's received well, but then it's a second thing is like, no, she didn't.
right.
But
You think about it
it's
later.
yeah, I love it because
Oh,
I'm a straight shooter too, so it's all good.
that you are, family. That you that you are. All right. Well, I'm gonna move on down the road because I know it's later in the evening and people are probably skimming through and you got things to do too. And I'm taking your time, but I really do appreciate it.
No
So
worries.
my next question. Did you notice anything particularly special about me growing up in my teen years? You may not necessarily had the a word to articulate it, but it was like that kid. She's got this thing about her. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I always thought you was an achiever. I always thought that you wanted more out of your life um, than what was offered to you. So you was a go-getter, and you put your whatever you put your mind to, that's what you did. So that's what I saw in you as a youth. I'm a little older, but at the same time, I appreciated your spunk and your tenacity, because um, a lot of kids in the neighborhood could have, watched you achieve all your accomplishments and your goals to become a doctor, and they could have followed the same suit. You know, um, everybody has a choice, but I thank you for being a doctor, and I watch you grow from the time you were a child to now, and I am so proud of you. So very
Thank,
proud of you.
thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Don't make me cry on this here live now. Cause
No, no, no. It's not to make you cry, but I'm just saying, we started from the bottom, now we're here. That song is for that song is for you, for real. It's
wait,
like
who sing?
it's a great accomplishment
Yeah, I was gonna say who
to
sing
get.
that? Jay-Z? Is that Jay-Z? I don't know who that
I
is.
don't know who it is. I'm 60 years old, so it's like we started from the bottom, now we're here. I just know the words. I don't know
Well,
who sang it or
wait,
who
is
who
it
who
Drake?
did.
Girl, okay. Well, that brings joy to my cheeks. And I thank you so very much because I do think about our scholars that are coming through the educational system today. And I often wonder, do you have the same educators that, as I got older, I had a lot better educators, but my younger years, the infancy stage where my light was dimmed, it wasn't put out by an educator. But I think about our children that are coming through the system. It's like, these educators, do you feel that these scholars can actually achieve their greatness? Or is this, I'm done? Because I hear it a lot today. The different educators that are talking about, these children, they have no respect for anyone. They're doing whatever the heck they want to do. Nobody is being held accountable. They're out here ripping and running and stealing cars and doing. My thought process often goes, did you ever have a champion, young folk? Did you have someone to champion the things that you do greatly? Sometimes I wonder, but I won't sit here and say, oh, absolutely not. That's a gross misstep on my part because there are a lot of educators still out here rooting our kids on, but I'm wondering, where's the breakdown? Like you said about
I'm
me
gonna tell
going
you
from.
where the breakdown is. Well, from my perspective, I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. I see a lot of educators. They get frustrated, they get
Mhm.
tired, and they shut down. But you chose that role. You chose that career path. So to give up so easily because it did not go according to your plan is a cop out. Absolutely. And I will charge any educator to continue on, because these kids need role models, especially Black, Hispanic, Asian, um, ethnic ethnic educators, because I am the director of Sickle Cell Advocates of Rochester. I am trying to get hospitalists and residents to get the education they need to take on the sickle cell um, warfare, to be educated in sickle cell. But because a lot of the patients have Medicare, or a lot of the patients have low cost health insurance, they choose not to do that. So they go into the cancer arena. And since they go into the cancer arena, our sickle cell patients are dying, and They don't have the great providers they need to care for their illness. A lot of the educators and the elder providers are retiring. So we
Mhm.
have no new providers coming on board, specifically being a specialist with sickle cell. They become hematologists or they become researchers or anything, but specifically caring for sick patients with sickle cell is my dogs are barking. I'm so sorry. But it's
That's probably a good
it's
segue for me
devastating.
to.
It's very devastating for the patients that live with sickle cell, because when a patient transitions from pediatric care to adult care, many people get lost in the systems. Many people get um, not having providers that actually care for their needs. So educating these residents, hospitalists, and these new researchers, we are finding ourselves a loss for care
So
because
if I can break up a little bit of this, am I hearing that the youth of today, we probably should be helping them to go, especially if they're affected by the sickle cell community, individuals with sickle cell, that hey, there is a place for you, and and if they themselves, because the person who's going through it themselves, and there's a lot of our children that have it, yes. So if they're going through it themselves, like you could go and help others and teach others about this particular disease. Is that what I'm hearing?
no, not necessarily, because individuals with sickle cell often have crisis. They can be educators through community resources. Well, in my perspective, because they become sick a lot.
Mhm.
They can be educators through community organizations and other things, but as a educator through a community based uh,
Accumul-
academic
okay.
and academic res- uh, resource, you need a dedicated person, and you need a sickle cell person to be your right hand person, to help you and navigate through it as an
Absolutely.
educator. But
Absolutely.
for many sickle cell patients get crisis and they are out of the loop for a considerable amount of time. So it is good to have them on board, but if you're going to have a educational program, you really need someone that is dedicated, and you really need someone um, that doesn't have sickle cell, doesn't get sick often. And some patients with sickle cell don't get sick, but you can never make that 100% of your determination of creating a program. So,
Absolutely. But I know you are getting ready to do something that's going to come up, but I don't want to take away from this last thing that I'm going to ask you, because I know you're going to want to share about that in about a few minutes. So, is it possible for us to go on to this next question, and then I'm going to share your flyer because I know you got something good to share with the people about what's coming up soon. Is that all
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So, listen, what is your funniest memory with me as a teen, tween, whatnot? The funniest. No, that was some funny junk. That's some funny junk.
Well, Tasha, getting here, getting here, getting here. You, there have been many, many, many episodes, and just to name one or a few, the
Don't
one in
embarrass.
uh,
I said, don't embarrass me.
I'm not embarrassing you, girl. The one in many is imitating my mom, Brown Sugar.
Brown sugar.
Brown Sugar is the community know-it-all. Her and between her and your mom, girl, listen, the neighborhood is safe. Okay.
They say
The neighborhood is safe.
they
But
they
um, but listen to you imitate my mom is was one of the funniest thing I have ever heard in my. And you know what? If you want to do a rendition, feel free.
she be like she be like, Tasha, where your mom? tell tell her I said call me.
Yeah, that way they can have a conversation.
But they not
That's
gossipers. But they gonna ask some important questions about did you see that or did you hear something? And it's like, girl, we
oh,
gotta do something about that. Well, listen, that is funny. It's very delightful. People, I hope, are starting to get a glimpse of who am I. So we know that I'm full of life, full
absolutely,
of positivity. I am
absolutely,
all about helping the children, and I'm all about helping the adults that work with those children.
absolutely.
But ultimately, my my words that I've been using for many years is I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. My words that I've been using for many years is greatness is in you. Now go and show your greatness. I think I've told that to every last scholar I've worked with. I tell that to adults as well because we still need to be reminded of that. That greatness is in me as well. Sometimes life situations, whatnot, they wear you down, and you feel like, is there anything great in me? Because this right here is for the birds. But I just want to encourage you to continue your race. And if you find that you are toiling relentlessly daily in what you're doing, I urge you to take a moment and pause. Am I moving and working in my greatness, or am I trying to work in somebody else's? When it's your work, when it's your work, you don't get tired of your work. There are many of us out here working in other people's work, and that's where there's a discrepancy. So I urge you to really get in tune with who you are if you don't already know. Because if you don't know who you are, trust me, somebody else is going to tell you who you are. Regardless if it's the truth or not, they're going to tell you who you are. But for the sake of time, I am going to, because we got 5 minutes, we got 5 minutes. I'm going to share this. I know you are the director of the sickle cell community here in New York and Rochester specifically. And there is something that's coming up. Do you care to share a little bit about this wonderful activity that's happening tomorrow?
No, it's not tomorrow. It's October
Yeah.
21st.
I'm
It's
sorry,
October.
October 21st.
Yes, it's October 21st, and it's at the Trent and Pamela Jackson Recreation Center. And where we will be having an educational session regarding sickle cell. What is sickle cell? What is pediatric care to from pediatric to adult care? Patient will be telling their stories and their experiences of what they have endured with sickle cell and how the healthcare system has failed them. So it will be an eye opener. We will have line dancing. We will have food, and we will have Food Link food truck out there. So we will be providing vouchers for individuals to purchase healthy foods because that's what we're encouraging, and we're also encouraging a healthy lifestyle. So come
Absolutely.
out. We will have various organizations having tables representing what they do. So if you don't know, now you do. So come out, come out, come out. October 21st, we will begin setting up from 11 to 12:30. The actual event will begin at 1 o'clock. And like I said, line dancing will begin between 4 and 6. So if you're interested, you don't need to sign up. You just need to show up.
Absolutely. So before we go, Gladys, is there a web page or social media link that you care to share with our people that's viewing?
Absolutely. So our website is Sickle Cell Advocates of Rochester, or it's SCARROC.com. So it's
That,
skyrock.com.
that.
And yes,
All right. Well, thank you so very much. Like I said, thank you so very much, family. You're my cousin.
thank you.
Thank
And
you for joining
so,
me today.
even though
All
we
right.
ain't blood, you my cousin.
You my cousin. I love it. All right, everyone. There and again, just really quick, the call to action. Go ahead and click the link. Download your copy of my first ebook. Absolutely. Do it. It's free. I know it's not free. It's on sale though. Go ahead and share the page. Share it. You never know who this might resonate with. And thank you all for joining me again this week. I'll see you next week.